I've been in crypto since 2017, and let me tell you, I've seen it all. The wild bull runs, the gut-wrenching crashes, and everything in between. Along the way, I've made just about every mistake out there, some of which have cost me potential millions. But here's the thing, I didn't let those mistakes go to waste, because I learned some super important lessons from them that I know will save me time, money, and headaches in the future. So today I want to help you out by sharing with you my top 10 lessons that everyone should know. So whether you're a newbie or someone who's been around for a while but just can't seem to hold on to your gains, then this video is for you. Sit back, relax, and keep on watching. Alright, let's dive right in. And one of the first things you gotta understand is how the market actually works. You see, ever since Bitcoin launched, the market has pretty much followed a 4-year cycle. Every 4 years, there's something called the halving, which cuts miners' block rewards in half. So because of this halving, fewer Bitcoin hits the market, making it harder to come by over time. Now, does that guarantee that the price will go up? Well, not really, but it's ultimately a supply and demand thing, right? Like less supply plus the same or higher demand means price must go up. So that's why the halving usually sparks a bull run where the price takes off and things eventually get quite wild. But here's the thing, the good times don't last forever. Eventually, the hype outpaces reality, prices peak, and bam, we're back in a bear market. So this is a pattern that we've seen over and over again. But this doesn't mean that this is guaranteed by any stretch. We've only seen a few of them after all. And as the crypto space evolves, things could definitely change. But for now, it's still a great way to think about this market. But anyways, we got the 4-year cycle, but now we gotta talk about how money flows during these cycles, because this part is just as important. So early in a bull run, Bitcoin is usually the star of the show. Its dominance, aka its share of the overall market, tends to be quite high. But once Bitcoin starts to slow down, people start rotating into altcoins, chasing even higher gains. And boom, that's how you get the infamous alt season. It usually starts with big players like Ethereum, and then works its way down to mid-cap and low-cap coins, where things can get completely insane. Like this is where we could see 10x or even 100x gains in the span of a few weeks. But, and this is a big but, every bull run eventually hits a wall. When Bitcoin dominance drops to super low levels, it's often a sign that the market is overheated. And when the crash comes, well, it's brutal, as altcoins can drop 90% or more, wiping out people's portfolios left and right. So if you're not ready for that, then it can be a total disaster. That's why you gotta understand cycles, watch how the money moves, and always have a plan to adapt. Seriously, do not skip this part. It's what separates the people who make it from the people who don't. Anyways, next, let's get into something just as crucial if you want to succeed in crypto, and that's tokenomics. Yeah, I know, it sounds boring, but it's super important, as tokenomics is the financial blueprint of a crypto project after all. It tells you how tokens are created, how many exist, and when new ones will hit the market. So once you understand these details, you'll have a much better idea of where a project's price is headed. You see, a project could have amazing tech, an all-star team, and a roadmap straight out of a sci-fi movie. But if their tokenomics is trash, well, then the price probably won't do that well. Anyways, that begs the question, what should we look for in a project's tokenomics? Well, first, you should check out their circulating supply versus total supply. Circulating supply is the number of tokens currently out there, while total supply is the maximum number that could ever exist. So if the circulating supply is small compared to the total supply, then watch out, because this means that there's a lot of tokens yet to hit the market, and when they do, it could crush the price. Anyways, the supply is one thing, but you should also look at the emission schedule, as this tells you how many new tokens will be released and at what time. You can usually find this information in a project's white paper. But the key here is to look at how many tokens are going to insiders, as well as when they get access to them. Because if their tokens unlock while they're sitting on huge gains, then chances are they'll dump, and that would tank the price. Now, obviously, this just scratches the surface of tokenomics, but in the interest of time, I'll just leave it at that. And if you want to go deeper here, I have other videos breaking down tokenomics in way more detail, and I'll link you down below in the description. Alright, this next tip might not be the most exciting, but trust me, it's one of the most important ones out there, and that's to secure your portfolio. You see, the risks that you face in crypto are crazy. There's hacks, scams, exchange collapses, and we pretty much have to dodge all of them all the time. But here's the thing, protecting yourself is actually quite easy, and it doesn't take that much time or money to do so. First, you should store your crypto properly. Get a hardware wallet and move most of your assets there. That way, if your exchange gets hacked or goes under, your crypto is still safe. Next, enable two-factor authentication everywhere. I'm talking exchanges, your email, basically anywhere that has that option. Personally, I recommend getting a YubiKey, because if you have one of those, a hacker would literally have to take that device from you in order to access your account. So pretty much all the hackers who live far away from you won't be able to do anything, even if they were able to get your email and password somehow. Now, one last tip is to bookmark the sites that you use often, like your exchanges and things like that, because this helps you avoid fake phishing sites that are designed to steal your info. But yeah, these might seem like small steps, but together they form a strong defense. And look, this isn't the full list of things that you should do, but it's a good starting point. And just be sure to take some time to secure your portfolio now, as that could save you from losing everything down the road. All right, now since you're here on YouTube, this next tip is especially relevant, and that's to be really careful about who you follow. Look, the crypto community is amazing. There are so many people willing to share knowledge and help you navigate the space. However, not everyone has your best interests in mind. For example, some influencers hype up projects just to dump on you later. Others might be secretly working for projects, pushing narratives that benefit them and not you. So how do you figure out who's worth following? Well, first, check their track record. If someone's constantly promoting projects that go to zero, then that's a massive red flag. But also, nobody gets it right 100% of the time, right? So what's also important is how they handle their mistakes. Like, do they take accountability, or do they just delete their posts and pretend like nothing happened? Someone who owns their mistakes is way more trustworthy than someone who disappears when things go south. Next, you should look for transparency. The best influencers are upfront about their sponsorships and affiliation. If someone's dodgy or avoids disclosing these things, then that's probably a sign to steer clear. Finally, there's consistency. The real ones stick around through both the good and the bad times. If someone only shows up when things are hot, then they're likely just chasing the hype and are not worth following. Either way, there are a ton of influencers out there, and finding the right ones takes time. But trust me, it's worth doing your homework here, as following the wrong ones will almost certainly get you wrecked. Alright, next I got a tip for all the moon boys out there. But before we get there, I got something exciting to share with you. Our longtime partner and sponsor 3 Commas has an amazing Christmas deal happening right now. And it's all about helping you level up with trading bots. If you've been thinking about trying out trading bots, this is the perfect time. Because 3 Commas, the platform that I personally use, is offering up to 60% off their Pro and Expert plans when you go for a 6-month subscription. And if you're new, you can grab your first month of Pro for just $9.99. That's less than a lunch in many countries. What makes 3 Commas awesome is how simple they make it to use trading bots. Their DCA bot is a favorite of mine because it can spread out investments during market dips, making it super easy to ride out the waves. And their signal bot, it automates trades based on expert signals, so you don't have to stay glued to the charts. There's a lot that their bots can do, but heads up, these holiday deals only last until January 3rd. So if you're interested, don't miss out. Check the link in the description, grab your discount, and start using those trading bots to take your crypto game to the next level. Alright, back to my top lessons. And this next one is all about taking profits. You see, most people have heard the stories of someone turning $1,000 into $1 million, and it's easy to imagine yourself doing the same. However, for every person who cashes out near the top, there are so many others who round trip everything. So here's the hard truth. To win in crypto over the long haul, you need a plan. Because it's not just about watching your portfolio grow, it's about turning those numbers into real, tangible gains. And that starts with one simple rule. Don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. When your portfolio is up 2x, 5x, or even 10x, it's easy to get caught up in the hype. You start flexing your unrealized gains and you think, what if it goes up forever? But don't be that person. Instead, focus on being practical. First, take out your initial investment as early as possible, maybe even when you've doubled your money. This way, no matter what happens next, your starting capital is safe and you're essentially playing with house money. Second, if your gains feel life-changing, don't hesitate to take significant profits, maybe even all of it. After all, what's the point of writing your portfolio all the way up and then all the way back down? You've already done the hard work by getting to the right spot. So don't let greed take it all away at the last moment. One strategy that can help you with this is called laddering. Basically, you sell small percentages of your position at regular intervals as the price moves up. For example, you might sell 20% at one price, another 20% at the next level, etc. Setting limit orders can help you stick to this plan and avoid making emotional decisions in the heat of the moment. Now, sure, laddering won't make you as much money as if you just held all the way to the top, but let's be real, catching the top is nearly impossible. Almost no one does it unless they're super lucky, which is why following such a plan almost always turns out to be the right decision. Anyways, next, let's dive into one of the most underrated keys to success in crypto: narratives. You see, narratives are everything in this space. They dictate where attention goes, and as we all know, attention is king. In fact, an average project with a hot narrative will almost always beat out a top project with a boring one. Take AI, for example. Right now, AI is the hottest narrative out there. Everyone's talking about it, and as a result, AI crypto projects have experienced explosive growth. But it's not just AI. Crypto is a big space, and there's always multiple narratives at play. Think DePIN, RWAs, or gaming. These are just a few examples of narratives that are gaining traction and could have their own time in the spotlight. But anyways, you're probably wondering, how can we take advantage of such narratives in crypto? Well, it all starts with doing your own research. Look into a few different narratives and identify the ones that you find most promising. Next, dig deeper. Look for hidden gems within those narratives, aka projects that are still flying under the radar, but could absolutely explode once the hype catches up. But keep in mind that timing is everything here, because if you can spot a narrative before it blows up, then that could set you up for some truly life-changing gains. Anyhow, let's move on to the dark side of crypto, and that's all the scams that you gotta avoid. Unfortunately, scams are everywhere in this space, and they get even worse during bull markets. Why? Well, because when the newbies come into crypto, bad actors see it as the perfect opportunity to take advantage. But here's the good news. If you stay sharp and take the right precautions, you can protect yourself. Just keep in mind the golden rule, which is, if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. Whether it's a comment on YouTube promising insane returns, a random DM on Twitter offering fake rewards, or a flashy website hyping up a guaranteed project, you gotta be careful. Scams are designed to hook you in with promises that seem irresistible, but once they have your money, they're gone. So how to best protect yourself against these? Well, start by using tools like DEX tools or DEX screeners to analyze projects, and cross-check details on reputable platforms like CoinGecko. But don't stop there. Dive into forums, discords, and Twitter threads to see what other people are saying, as a little research can go a long way here. But beyond that, just keep a healthy dose of skepticism. Don't trust anyone blindly, and don't invest your money unless you're absolutely sure that it's legit. Scams may always be a part of crypto, but with the right mindset and tools, you can steer clear of the traps and navigate the space more confidently. Alright, next, let's talk about one of the most defining traits of crypto: volatility. You've probably heard people say that crypto is like a roller coaster ride. Well, they're not wrong. You see, big price swings are a part of the deal when it comes to such a young asset class. Take Bitcoin, for example. Its daily price movements are about 4 times larger than gold's and about 3 times larger than the S&P 500. As for altcoins, one day your token might shoot up 20 to 30%, and the next day it can come crashing right back down. So how do you handle all this craziness? Well, the key is to stay calm and accept that volatility is part of the deal. One trick that really helps me out is zooming out. Instead of fixating on the hourly or daily charts, focus on the weekly or monthly charts instead. This can make those wild swings look a lot less overwhelming and give you a better sense of the bigger picture. Now, if you're actively trading, you gotta be careful. Avoid using high leverage, and if you lose money on a trade, resist the urge to try to make it all back in one trade, aka revenge trade. I promise that if you do that, you're gonna get wrecked. But then beyond that, just be sure to only invest what you can afford to lose. Don't take out loans or bet your life savings on a coin, even if it feels like a sure bet. Not only do you risk losing it all, but having too much at stake makes it almost impossible to stay calm when prices dip. So the takeaway here is simple. Volatility is always going to be a part of crypto. But if you keep the right mindset, you can ride the waves and come out ahead. Alright, next, let's talk about your portfolio. Specifically, finding that sweet spot between being over and under diversified. Striking the right balance is one of the most important things you can do in crypto. If you hold too few coins, your portfolio becomes overly concentrated. Like if one of those projects tanks, then it can wipe out a huge chunk of your investments. But on the flip side, holding too many coins dilutes your gains. Plus, managing a ton of different investments can be super overwhelming. It's nearly impossible to stay on top of all of them after all. So what's the solution here? Well, it's simple. Only invest in projects that you truly understand and believe in. Focus on those that you've researched extensively and have strong conviction about. This way, you can monitor them more closely and have a better sense of when to sell. Now, another key factor is how to allocate along the risk curve. A good rule of thumb is to keep a significant portion of your portfolio in safer assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then use smaller allocations for those high risk, high reward bets. Now, the right balance will be different for everyone, as it all depends on your goals, your risk tolerance, and how much time you're willing to spend managing your portfolio. But don't forget, conditions will change, so as the market evolves, your portfolio should too. After all, the ultimate goal here isn't just to survive, it's to thrive. And that's something you can only do by being strategic with your investments. Alright, my last tip, which honestly might be the most important one, is to learn from your mistakes. Let's be real, nobody in crypto, not even the OGs with millions of dollars, has made it without screwing up along the way. Falling for scams, sending tokens to the wrong address, holding too long, selling too early. We've all been there and done that. Mistakes are a part of life after all. But the difference between those who fail and those who make it is how they handle those mistakes. The people who succeed are the ones who take those hard lessons and use them to put safeguards in place so they don't make the same mistake twice. Now, one of the best ways to do this is by keeping a trade journal. It doesn't have to be fancy, but just start by documenting your decisions. Like, why did you buy? What was your plan? And why did you sell? And then go back and review it to see what went wrong and what went right. This simple habit can give you valuable insights and help you sharpen your decision making over time. And here's the thing, crypto is constantly evolving. So what worked 6 months ago might not work now. And if you're not actively learning and adapting, you're gonna get left behind. The key here is to stay curious, humble, and always be open to growth. Mistakes are a part of the journey, but what separates the winners from the losers is the ability to turn that pain into champagne. So there you have it, my top tips for navigating this wild, unpredictable world of crypto. Let's be honest though, most people who jump into the space end up losing money. That's because they don't have a plan, they let their emotions take over, and they fail to learn from their mistakes. But you're not like most people because you've taken the time to learn these lessons, and that already puts you in a much better position to succeed. While nothing in crypto is ever guaranteed, following these principles can give you an edge over everyone else. Now, if you're looking to take things even further, you should consider joining a community of serious investors who share insights, explore projects, and navigate the market together. That's exactly what Retail DAO is all about, and right now they're doing their Season 1 airdrop to get even more people into their DAO. So if you want to learn more, just check out my link in the description.